It's been exactly 1 year since Kendrick Lamar dropped the music video for Not Like Us, and everything changed. The date itself doesn't need explanation anymore. July 4th, once a day of fireworks and parades, was reclaimed in hip-hop culture as the day Kendrick Lamar pressed the red button and detonated one of the most seismic visuals in recent rap history. Welcome to celebrity rap life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in celebrity rap life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. This wasn't just another diss record getting a flashy video treatment. This wasn't about flashy cars or bikini models or fake flexes. This was surgical. This was a celebration and a burial at the same time. Kendrick Lamar didn't just make a statement. He immortalized a moment. The song had already done damage. Released in the heart of the summer, in the middle of an already tense battle between Kendrick and Drake, Not Like Us wasn't just a track, it was a cultural event. Every bar was dissected. Every line turned into a meme, a headline, a group chat debate. But the video, that's what stamped it in stone. When that music video finally dropped, the internet held its breath. Nobody knew what to expect. A song that venomous, that loaded, how could a video do it justice without watering it down or over-sensationalizing it? But Kendrick, as always, knew exactly what he was doing. The first frame didn't show smoke or chaos. It showed community. Kendrick surrounded by kids. Kendrick dancing with aunties. Kendrick walking through his hometown, showing love to Compton, showing love to his people. The message was loud, but the volume was in the details. This wasn't about tearing someone down, it was about uplifting what he stood for. Every second of that video told you that Kendrick's art came from a place Drake couldn't access. From roots. From culture. From a legacy that's been nurtured, not marketed. Not Like Us wasn't just a diss. It was a declaration. And Kendrick knew it. That's why the video felt less like an attack and more like a coronation. From the rooftop shots to the quick-cut edits of Lamar Crip walking in front of a giant OVO owl piñata, every scene served a dual purpose. Kendrick was clowning Drake, sure, but more than that, he was reclaiming power. Reclaiming control. And reminding everyone who really moves the culture. 1 year later, the echoes of that moment still ripple through the industry. You can measure it in streaming numbers, sure. The video racked up tens of millions of views in a matter of days. It trended across every platform. It made headlines on CNN, ESPN, The Wall Street Journal. But what made it unforgettable wasn't just reach, it was impact. Rappers stopped moving the same after that. The silence from some was deafening. Artists who once proudly stood next to Drake went quiet. Industry players who always bet on OVO started tiptoeing. Because Kendrick had done something bigger than win a rap beef, he'd changed the temperature in the room. And you could feel it. Remember that shot of Kendrick breaking the owl piñata? That wasn't just a prop. That was symbolic annihilation. Drake's brand, the carefully manicured OVO image, was reduced to candy and cheap paper. And Kendrick didn't just swing the bat. He laughed. Danced. Let the children in the neighborhood stomp on it after. That's how complete the takedown was. Even more striking was who appeared in the video. It wasn't a parade of celebrities or clout chasers. It was Kendrick's family. His daughter. His fiancée, Whitney. Friends from the neighborhood. And of course, the West Coast, fully in attendance. DJ Mustard. Tommy the Clown. Watts and Compton came together on that day to be part of the visual. It felt like a block party and a revolution wrapped into one. The choreography was raw but confident. The colors. Unapologetically West Coast, sunlit yellows, rich blues, and a sharp red pulsing through like a heartbeat. The cinematography made it clear, Kendrick wasn't hiding. He was out in the open. While his rival was holed up in Toronto, flinging subliminals through Instagram stories, Kendrick was with his people, touching the ground, dancing in the sun, and daring anyone to challenge what they were seeing. And what they saw was dominance. What they saw was a man at the peak of his power, not because he had to shout the loudest, but because everyone had already turned to listen. 12 months later, it's hard to find another music video from that era that had half the staying power. Kendrick made something that transcended trends. While the industry has moved on from many of the one-week controversies and disposable clapbacks of 2024, Not Like Us remains a cultural watermark. The memes still circulate. The catchphrases still linger. And the dance still gets recreated on TikTok, in clubs, at backyard cookouts. Kendrick didn't just drop a diss. He delivered a classic. But perhaps the most important thing about the video is how it framed Kendrick himself. After years of mystique and calculated distance, Kendrick stepped back into the spotlight not as a shadowy figure, but as a leader, a father, a pillar of community. He reminded people that he doesn't rap for algorithm approval. He raps because it's his language, his weapon, his contribution. His art is an extension of who he is, and that's why it hits harder than anything formulated in a boardroom or brainstormed in a streaming strategy session. The way he moved through that video, graceful but grounded, was a reminder that legacy can't be faked. Respect has to be earned. And Kendrick's respect comes from his roots, his honesty, and his refusal to sell his soul for a shortcut. In the year since its release, Not Like Us has become more than a song and more than a video. It's a cultural checkpoint. When people look back at 2024, they won't remember just the Spotify stats or the petty social media drama. They'll remember where they were when they first saw Kendrick Lamar swinging that bat. They'll remember how loud the crowd was when he performed it live in LA, how it instantly shut down every narrative claiming his run was over. They'll remember the moment hip-hop remembered who its North Star really was. The fallout. Inevitable. The video recentered the conversation. Not just about who was on top, but about what deserves to be on top. Authenticity. Vulnerability. Cultural responsibility. Things Kendrick embodies, and that others can only imitate. It also changed the way fans engage with beef. Not Like Us reminded everyone that if you're going to take shots, they better be aimed with precision and purpose. Kendrick's shots weren't reckless. They were thought out, layered, hilarious, painful, artistic. He weaponized creativity, and he forced his opponent to retreat, not just from the mic, but from the moment. Because how do you respond to something that real? A year later, we still don't have a reply that touches what Kendrick did. And maybe we never will. Because Not Like Us was never just about Drake. It was about setting the bar again. About showing that lyricism, storytelling, and authenticity still have a place in a space too often overrun by surface-level antics and manufactured personas. About making people dance and think. And about giving a whole new generation a reason to believe that the most powerful weapon in music is still the truth. So here we are, 12 months later. The video plays like it dropped yesterday. Not a single frame feels dated. Not a single bar feels dull. It still sparks debate. It still commands silence. It still shuts rooms down. Because that's what art does when it's done right. And Kendrick Lamar? He did it right. 1 year later, and we're all still catching our breath. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.